Okay, so we've dealt with the making the insert lighting and the insert flashes. Now we're going to look at general illumination. Now, general illumination is the main table ambient lighting. Um, Now, in most modern machines, this is actually split up into different areas, so it's not just the table illumination around the whole table, it's split up. So if you go to the manual, normally it's in the solenoid flasher table, but the information is really thin on the ground. In this case, there's 5 strings, what they call strings, which are basically different circuits. So 5 separate illumination circuits. In this case, upper playfield, center playfield, lower playfield, and illumination string 4 and 5. In this case, you can see that the first column's playfield, so we know those 3 are playfield, and the second column is back box, so we know that string 4 and 5 are on the back box. So we don't have to worry about 4 and 5, only upper, center, plate, and lower. That's the extent of the information manuals give you, which means all of these little holes here, nearly all of them are positions for general illumination. So you can go about and you can start. So if you have one that you like the size of, you can go and start copy and pasting it into places you know that have general illumination. So this is where you go back and look at your reference images. You scoot through. If you have any um, images of the GI, which we don't in this case for some reason, um, you just know where they are. Um, okay, we have images at the back of the GI, so maybe there's more in the toys. Here we go. So yeah, you'll see these are where the general illumination lights are, all around here. So we go back in here and we have a look and we move and we put these all in the place that they should be. Um, Now sometimes you can use old tables, old versions of tables to know where to put them, or rather not where to put them, but learn how you divide them up into, in this case, lower, middle, and upper. Um, However, it does depend how much trust you have in the people who did them originally, but also how much information was available. There's a lot more information available now. There's a lot more photos and high-res photos. So what that means is we can go back, and one of the things that the um, uh, flasher table gives you is the color code for the wires. So white, brown, white, orange, white, yellow, upper, center, lower. So we can go to our pictures and we have some nice high definition images that someone's thankfully taken of the back of a scared stiff machine. So it's obviously upside down and back to front because it's the table's in the air, but we can look, and if you look, you know these are the GI lamps, that's what they look like from the bottom, and you'll see there's a lovely white and yellow um, thick wire going to them. So if you look there, lower playfield, white, yellow. So we know anything with a white and yellow is lower playfield. So that immediately means all of these are all white and yellow. The only difficulty comes is when they jumper away from this main incoming cable. The fact that these are yellow doesn't mean anything. They're literally what they call jumper cables, which is they just jump from one to the other to the little ones. It's about this main incoming cable. So we know that's lower. Then we go to mid. So this here is this 3 bank target. So we can see that white and yellow is going to that. So you would take this and go, right, there's two there, which means that's middle. And if we look over on the other side, same thing, thick wire coming in, that's going to middle. So there, so those are all lower. It's quite big actually. I was only expecting the bottom two to be lower, but that's not the case. So now as we go further down the table, you'll see that even though these are bits of yellow here, there's a white and orange cable coming off into them. So if you go back to our manual, center playfield, white, orange. So we know that these are the two lamps above this ejector, the what they call the VUC here. So we copy this. We're going to move this here. We're going to rename this from L to M001. Copy paste and stick that one there. So in theory, when you go over to the other side, the driver cables are actually going to be that. Now it's actually more difficult to see if that's the case over here, but it would be unusual if those ones. There you go. Actually, you can see the yellow, orange, and white coming into there. So we now know that hole there is that hole there. So we now know all of the GI around here is middle as well. So it looks like it might even have 4, but I'll have to double check that with some reference images. And then you can see a sneaky one down there that's still orange and white going to, that's the bottom of a pop bumper. So these two up here are probably still mid because that's pop bumper and that's pop bumper. We go to the bottom. Oh, look, it's a better image. Yeah, see, that's actually even all the way up there. That's very unusual. But that's how they do GI to make it look like it does. So where's that? That is anyway, that's there, and it's the one to the left of that pop bumper. So it's that one there, one of those there. Over the other side. Hard to see. And last but not least, at the top, that looks like it, I don't know, it might be a replacement cable. What does the manual say? Upper playfield, white, brown. Oh no, you can see that cable coming off there. I'm not sure why that's jumping across there. This is what sometimes if something's an aftermarket piece of wiring. It could be that, I'm not sure, because that's slightly unusual. But I would basically have then copy and paste that and call that upper. So I can go through and I've got lots of other photos. I mean, as you saw earlier, I've got tons of different photos to go through and figure out what's what. But that is how you do it, and it's just painstaking time sink. The only other way you can do it is to get someone with access to the machine to run you through the GI strings of their real machine, and you'll see the lights fade up and down. That's crashed the table, saving that. Oh, no, it hasn't. Hey, VPX everybody. But it's what we've got. So once you've done that, so we need to, we remember these ones are our lower ones. So we right click, add to collection, GI lower. So these were add to collection, GI, and then go to table, collection manager. Um, create new from there. Oh, we'll get rid of this old one because we didn't do it like that. Call this one GI mid. Oh, gotta have capitals. And then add this to GI, and we'll add a couple more just so it is a collection. Um, and then we can go through maybe and run through a couple of our photos again and just see if we can find anything with, this is using LED inserts. And again, this just goes through and shows us someone's foot. These are just useful. So that one's got three holes there. So one of the holes doesn't actually have a GI bulb. So if we go back to here, and this is where you can get carried away. This one on the edge is for the leaf switch, for the rubber switch. So we can just delete that one. So it's easy to get carried away, which is the importance of getting these photos to cross-reference to make sure you're actually looking at the right thing and have these positioned in the right places. And that is GI lights in VPX.